must engage the darkness. If you are going to regain the memories lost to you. You must stay strong.
A lone child's presence does not bode well for the circumstances.
No one can pass.
And inquisitive. It will be difficult.
Well, that's just perfect.
But try to remember. You are never alone.
Almost immediately. Just want to say, hey, Collision Bomb, thank you for showing up. All right, so what I'm doing today is something a bit different. First off, I'm going to go ahead and save this and close all that out because remember how it slows me down. But so I was working, and here's something else I need to close down too. Cool little page I'm working on. Comic book style, just to pay homage to the craft. All right, so here we go. My whole thought process is I need to add a new character right here. But if I start using the digital lines, I'm not going to have that pencil grit. So there's this patch here. So I'm going to do something interesting there, but let me get some music going, guys. I hope everybody's doing okay. Even if you're just jumping in at the end of your day and this is already streaming, I hope everything's going good. And then the battle music shows up after that message. Cool. So, crossfade. We're good. All right, so follow me here. The idea is to grab this patch. And then what I want to do is I want to copy it and come all the way at the top and paste it. And paste it again. And paste it again. Oh, come on. Sorry. Yeah. And you'll start seeing that there's this repetitious pattern happening. So we'll have to play with that. You'll see what I'm going for in a second. Basically, what I'm needing to do is create a surface of which, when I use the stamp tool, I'm going to be drawing with actual sketch lines from 15 years ago. So it's just an experiment. I thought about it earlier today and was going, try it out. If it ends up working, how cool. So I want to merge all of them. I want to duplicate them. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I'm working on an old concept art for a game that I'm currently creating. And by the way, drum roll please, we got a game purchase earlier, right before going live. So thank you very much. And yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying the content. So yeah, basically here's our customizable perks. All of these are add-ons, so just choose one, add as many as you want to customize your own personal package. I do say that the t-shirt collection is the best price for the content. You get the game, the thanks acknowledgement, which means your name in the credits, early access, 3 high-res posters, a backer t-shirt, and our exclusive device wallpapers. So that's the best for $100. It's really a steal. So Anyway, if you go down through here, we got a little bit closer look, especially these backer coins, which on one side feature our 3 main heroes, and on the back, or on the bottom, it says legendary backer coin, or legendary coin. On the back, it tells you guys, thank you so much for your support. You know, this is thank you for our gratitude. And it's got a small map of the area of the game and our Zade Studios logo on the back. We have a mini art book as well. So far, the pre-production art, which there's a ton of it, and a sculpture 3D print that I'll be hand painting and numbering, but it's based off of the clay sculpture that I had done. And then we took a lot of pictures of it and sent it back to our 3D modeler who 3D prints. So that's how that goes. But underneath all of that stuff is the game itself. It is a 3-hour JRPG that a 20-hour RPG that follows 3 young adventurers as they try to reclaim a stolen necklace. And as they scurry across these wild landscapes, they are pulled into a political upheaval between 2 major powers of the planet, Loden Shards and Denethite. So underneath the little description there, we talk about the battle system, break it down a little bit, but to play it is to experience what we mean. And so there is a prototype on Steam that you can play now. It's fully animated by me, and I'm going to be doing some game animation videos here soon. Let's just check this chat out. Josh Portello's in. Hey man, how you doing? Hope you are too, man. And then Collision Bomb's Wrench in there. And then, yes, Richard Watson is up. Turn up the volume. On what? The music or my voice? That's the question. Some people have said the music volume was good. I think it is a little high, but I'll bring it down just a tad and see how that works. Back to my spiel, though. Go play the prototype if you can. That's really the only way to understand a lot of what we're saying. It's a very new experimental system. You get an idea of the scope of our skills, our spells, some more description of the world, the places we'll be going in this first game, because this is the Hobbit to a Lord of the Rings trilogy. And happy St. Patrick's to everybody. Thank you, Collision Bomb. Yeah. So we got a world map that was a very early concept, and I still want to go back to this, incorporating all of our new UI setups and everything, but animated the clouds and move. You know, you can, if I could blow this up, you could see little speckles of stars or constellations up there that'd be shifting. But yeah, thought that was a cool addition to put up there. But we got our protagonists here and their bios about them. And then towns along the way. These are descriptions of some of the areas we'll be in. And then this new section that I added in the other day was characters of Divine. So through this, and it's laid out in a particular order that if you read these descriptions, you'll start to understand more of the world and the lore, and sometimes not. So these sections are pulled from the prologue chapter that's on our website that you can go read. Like a novelized form that goes a bit deeper than what our prologue in the game does. So, you know, and just more descriptions, but they give you a really good idea, a bit about our platforms that we're aiming at releasing in the order. The team is just me and my brother Dwight, so everything visual, the web, yeah, I'm the artist and designer, and Dwight's coming right up behind me and taking all these ideas and programming them in Unreal 4. So I can't have gotten luckier with grabbing them. A description of kind of what we're looking for and why we're needing it and what the development time is. But again, there's a link to the Steam. And then underneath that is just our stretch goals. Every stretch goal is a big next chunk of the game, so go ahead and take some time to check those out. And we do explain a little bit of what we want to do in some of these stretch goals, like an entire gardening system, so you can grow the ingredients to create your items that you're going to be battling with. And that would also include a day and night system that would use a lighting system. For example, what we have here is a flat animated character in our battle system, and I'm moving a light source around it, and light is casting shadow across the sprite. So we want to light the game using this technique because it works for levels, the environments as well, and we would really love to see what that can do in the full combat system and across the whole game in general. But it is part of a stretch goal. So we have a little bit of closing thoughts. Those are my personal ones. And then a little hint that, again, this is just a hobbit of something much bigger. And then finally, our glossary. If you're having problems pronouncing any of the words or understanding what they mean, always reference the glossary. So thank you guys so much for enduring that pitch. And thank you again for the donation earlier today and all donations that have come in. It is time to get to work and get back to this. So I had copied some stuff and moving some stuff. Am I moving stuff? Yeah, I'm moving stuff. Okay. So like I was saying, what I'm trying to do here is create a surface of which I can stamp tool like a pencil. Oh, what did I just do? Duplicate. Come on. Okay, I did the right thing. And I need to make it rather large. So the more I can come in here and merge them and then duplicate them into larger chunks. And you can get in, every time you do that, you can come in here, merge them, duplicate them. That'll kind of save you a bunch of time real quick. Unless you want to just customize and slowly build out everywhere. And so again, I'm just needing a large surface of which I'm going to be able to pull from. So let's merge. Okay, so I also want to play with this just a little bit. No. Am I getting anything different there? So, there we go. Yeah, this is extremely experimental. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Oh, yeah? Really? In fact, I think I messed myself up there. I just wanted to differentiate all that pattern that I was seeing, so but those lighter edges kind of messed me up because as I'm stamping across, I need everything kind of feel consistent rather than switching all of a sudden to a brighter color. Okay, so I've got my surface. I want to fill in one more small patch here, and I'm going to merge all that in. All right, so that's my surface. If I want to make it darker, there is, the setting here, and now I'm going to be drawing on the same layer as this because of the stamp tool. You still can't hear what I'm saying, bud. That's right. Bud's got like my dad, saw blades, loud machinery. Becomes kind of selective hearing from a time. I hope that's a little bit better, bud. All right, so we got to do it on the same layer as this. So, oh no, that look at all that. Okay, so I'm gonna go as small as I can with that stamp to be legitimate. Come over, and the best thing is to kind of grab somewhere in the center. That way, now I can just draw. So it's the pose of this character. I did find it's not one of the wearers that are behind me. It's rather, let's see. Do I have an opacity down? Yep. Oh, my flow's really heavy, and pressure sensitivity is on. Okay. Okay. Just erasing all that and going back at that again. So making sure it should have just auto-selected the same area. Now we've got pressure sensitivity on. 50% is the opacity, so we should have a little feathering effect. It's not as binary as a lot of people like to go with, but now I'm not really drawing to the perspective just yet. I wanted to get these shapes right first. And that head's way too big. So this character does appear, but just not in Beckoned. And a wearer, yes, but not any that has been seen. And the even worse thing is it's rather childish. Much like how that Nightmare Eater character but I always thought kids were creepy in horror movies. So what would happen if they would become villains? Well, like, Children of the Corn, the old horror movies. What was the one? The Omen? But it could be cliche using kids nowadays as like a villainous thing, because it's not really uncanny anymore because it's been so used so much. But on our website you can see the character in the old drawings. So this is the first time I'm drawing that character in 10 years. And it's going into a drawing that's 15 years old. It's kind of fun. Oh, Noah, what's up, buddy? Top of the morning to you. So power stance. Got to get that booty. And then throw the legs in there. That's a power stance. Is it or is it relaxed? Because the kid's rather coy. Alright. You know how creepy those well-mannered kids are? Like Noah? They're just like so well-mannered, they're kind of creepy. That's kind of what I'm going for with this this kid villain. Oh, and I don't have his concept up right now. I need to get the concept up so I can get the armor set right. Oh, sorry. That was right in the microphone. I guess this is the first time I'm going to be addressing this character to everybody, like, willingly. So, I'm bringing it up. Just give me 1 second. trying to figure out which one I want pose-wise. Because none of them have his back, which is what I'm needing. But still need it in here. What? Come on, Photoshop. You won't click drag it? Fine. So that, even this drawing is super old. Again, going back to, like I said, like 10 years, something like that. So, and it's inked on pencil, inked on graphite. So a micron pen on top of, and of course I just shrunk it so you can't see all the detail now, but it's pretty much there. Yeah, ink on pencil. This looks like high school, not college. So it could be older than 10 years old by a lot. All right, just for reference, so lift both shoulders. I've got pauldrons on the right side. The elbows are spiked. Seems like he's wearing a cape from behind, which saves my butt on getting the anatomy of the butt. And a skirt, too. Wow, I was really a cheater when I was a kid, huh? All right, back to the stamp tool. Kind of want to get that arrogant pose, and then the wrist needs to bend because I'm going to be placing that weapon behind him, or like held out to the side and then back around. It looks like I had the idea of hooking it and bringing it back, and there was a blade on this end. Oh yeah, I was playing some Squaresoft games for sure. Okay, and then get the foreshortening right in the foot with the perspective of the scene. Get the ankle and that heel. Now, I don't know if that's registering below the page. We'll see. Select all that out. Oh, that's what I thought. See? That's what's even creepier, the androgyny. Because it's like, it's so pale. Or it's not like that, it's not that like androgyny is creepy. It's just like the ambiguity, the uncanny valley, you know. There was the game, what was it? Vagrant Story, which and Square Enix and Final Fantasy characters generally seem to have this very androgynous approach to both males and females. So it's oh no, you're fine. You're fine. I recognize what it is. I hope. So, the spikes and the hair. Maybe the look over the shoulder? What do you think? And yeah, it's weird. This is kind of working. Although I would say that my lines are a bit crisper than these lines that we're seeing out over in this area. You know, these are definitely penciled. This is definitely something different. Even though I'm trying. It was a neat experiment, you know, and it probably does on a very small level differentiate some things. It doesn't look like it is though. I don't know. It was just fun to try that out. And I'm going to keep going with it too. So need those white matrix dreadlocks. Only saying that because I think that might have been where I was getting some of these ideas, mixes of Squaresoft games and the Matrix. I wonder what they're going to do with the new one. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some character animations soon. I'm kind of figuring like, yes, concepts. This thing's got art galore, but what about the game? What are you doing about the game? And it's like, well, about the game, we have loads of more mechanics to explore. And if I'm going to have any of that ready for Dwight when these mechanics are really kind of ready to go, I've got to have the art done. So it's probably a good idea to start moving the channel over into, okay, well, let's do some game art. So there's the combat system where the first character I'd probably start to get back into and start getting their attack animations would be Lane, and getting that slingshot and slinging, you know, the different directions. You know, and then if I decide to stay with the animations for attacking, then I'd probably move right back over to Anel and start working with her animations for her attacks. Then there's there's just layers upon layers upon layers of categories of what type of animation. There's idols there, which those are there. There's battle idols or engage idols, so they're attacking. There's magic casting, item use, blocks all three directions, attacks all three directions, block recoils every direction, and then damages all three directions. So it's quite a list, especially when they run 6 to 12 frames per animation, and they stack up fast. So let's keep going here. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing those probably tomorrow. I want to work and finish this thing out because I thought it was fun to come back to, but it is concept art, and it's not really concept art for Beckoned. It's for the later Beckoned. So really, I guess I'm just trying to be fancy, let you guys know that I'm going to be playing around with some different stuff as far as getting everything back to focus to what we need for the game. So me and Dwight have talked about a few things and about, you know, with the game, our systems that we have to be in place to pull off a lot of what we want to do. But ultimately it comes down to when those systems are ready, is the art ready, you know? And that's kind of the tightrope we've walked for, 2.5 years is, the mechanics, the ideas, they're there. Is the art ready? Yep, here you go. And then review it. Is it working right? Are these systems and animations working well together? And iterate, timing adjustments, all that stuff. It gets, but we've already done a lot of that with our main character Taj with the prototype. What we need to do is adjust a few of those things that everybody has kind of talked to us about. We need to telegraph certain things a bit better, such as the turn break. controls as well, like the casting controls. It seems like you fail until you give in to the idea that we're not telling you what rhythm. Is it one at a time, or is it all 3 buttons at the same time? I mean, so there's some adjustments. And I'm so thankful for everybody putting in their opinions and taking their time with it. It's been great and advantageous, especially for an independent game company that's 2 men strong. So thank you all so much. Now I gotta turn back on that reference. It was just distracting me. Okay, so they're just pretty wild. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting the spikes on that shoulder. 1, 2. I needed the placement too. Come on. Right, there's that first one. So bring that in a little bit. I'll start to blend that edge. Are you an Eskimo? What do you mean? And they're called Inuits properly. But what? I wish you'd that I wouldn't have to send you some of that 11 below. Holy crap! It's just cloudy and cold. Oh, Bud, yeah, Bud lives up north, man. It's cold. He calls me, and we talk pretty often, and he always asks me or tells me at least the weather over there. And when I tell him the weather where I'm at, I would love that. Dude, it's so cold. He hates it. From what I gather, hates the cold. Yeah. Great. That's what I'm saying. That's why I try not to live in those climates. I spent time on the Rocky Mountains with my dad, and 25 below zero temperatures, and waking up in the morning. No. Too cold. Had the experience. It was fun, but no. Beautiful too. Would I do it again? Yeah, for sure. Like, I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings before the movies had came out, back from like 1994. And then me and my buddy Kenton ended up, we had all the Alan Lee and John Howe art books that his parents collected. And when we heard the movie was coming out, that was right when the internet was starting to kind of pop up with really cool multimedia flash animation. So we got to see a super early trailer. I think we visited the website every day for a whole year. Yeah. Big Tolkien nuts. Not like he's the greatest that's ever been, but he's the greatest that's ever been. And you're forgetting the pleasures of wading through the snow. It's like adding insult to injury. Yeah. trying to get this armored scribbled in. I'll have to be making those some legitimate shapes, and we are getting at least somewhere. I'm glad the experiment sort of worked. It sort of worked. When I shrink the character in to the composition, I'll play with the opacity and see if I can't. The real trick here is that I've been zooming in. Yes, I love Frank Frazetta. Yes. Love Frank Frazetta stuff. I'm a huge, I'm really big into animation as well. So, like, we were talking about Ralph Bakshi and Frank Frazetta's Ice and Fire movie. But, you know, those are some old 70s stuff. But then, he was the animator that did Lord of the Rings before Peter Jackson did. But he did it with cartoons, and he used a technique called rotoscoping. So you basically film the live actors, and then you trace over them. So the animation itself is a bit shaky. And so in my animations, I'm not rotoscoping, but to get my shades not to blend and not be self-shaded or two-toned and still have it moving, they have to basically stay the same shapes. So it's and you can't really paint the same shapes over and over. There will be discrepancies, and when the thing's moving, you'll see those things shifting. So seeing that in that cartoon, and then as I started to explore the animation and Beckon, and making that mistake and seeing how I can deal with it, I think people would be it'd be kind of cool for everyone to see like how that's working. Because it's also then, I can't say too much. I don't feel comfortable letting out everything, but because we're not done yet. That's the other thing. I wanted to kind of move on to other things rather than the character stuff, because as I'm putting out more characters, it's like, what's going to be the surprise later? You throw too much out there too quick. You can't hear me? Eye is on. Maybe I'm talking too softly. I don't know. Someone answer Collision Bomb. Bud said it was good. Okay, cool. Noah's all good. All right. Yes, then Collision Bomb. Sounds like you might be the one. Sorry. So where are my stamps? Okay, there they are. So again, just roughing these shapes in, and then I want to stay pretty accurate to that. I don't know, Collision Bomb. I'm guessing you can hear the music, though. I think that's just the story of human life. Let's see. All right, so I've got this long handle, slightly curved. And for the sake of, I think I've got the silhouette near finished, so I can see the drawing clear, and I'm sure many of you are going, please, how are you drawing on top of everything else like that. Hey, maybe you're not. Maybe I'm just trying to be convenient. That's what that is for both of us, because I need it too. I'll carve it out in a minute. Yeah. Looks like this side's not as spiky, but I've got these pauldrons. And they seem rounded on the top, flattened on the bottom. Or no, flattened in the center, rounded at top and bottom. So throw those in. Spikes off that. All that cleaned up. And I'm basically just roughing this in, get everything in there that suggests the detail I'm wanting. Slowly start carving the rest of the thing out, and then I'll do a clean pass on it. Probably using the same idea. If I might even might be able to layer this drawing layer on top of itself just to be able to get the darker sets and control the contrast of the line. But until we get there, I've got this interesting twist right there. And then it bulges out. Yeah, it does. And once I shrink the figure into the scene, I can finish that part of the tip. So it goes, yeah, scene, yeah, right there in that swoop that you see, swoop. Right behind that. And then get the big hook of the tear. So then get rid of that line. You can see that right there. My power just went out. What? Why did the power go out? Is there storms out here? Oh no. Well, storms in Florida, it's kind of a normal thing. It's not hurricane season yet. I don't think so. I've already had to run from that last large one out here with all the Beckon stuff in a vehicle. The computers, the sculpture, the drawings, the plans, everything stuffed in a vehicle while I'm moving up the state so it doesn't get flooded where I was at. I've talked about it before. It was an awesome place, but man, it was right on the water, and it flooded all the way around the house. It didn't flood in the house yet, but I was like, if I sit and wait, it'll be too late to save everything. So I had to get out of there. Luckily, nothing happened to that place. So there's a lot of devastation. Floods are nuts. Doesn't that seem rather large? It does to me. Even the handle bit, but I like the size of that as a counterweight. But oof what? What did I say now? Oh, good Lord, what did I say? Or wait a minute, was it because I lassoed it and shrunk it and didn't redraw it? What happened? What did I do? Noah's got me stunned in suspense. I don't know what I did. Okay. It was collision. Oh, right. Ooh, no. Okay, now I see. Ouch. That's not anyone you know, perchance, huh? Oof. Well, hoping everybody's okay, because that kind of a wreck rarely ends well. I was in an accident once that nearly ran me directly into a pole. I missed it by like 10 feet, but I was sliding. Missed it. Oof. Yeah, Kentucky's got some narrow roads, especially in Waddy, Kentucky. Oh yeah. Learned to pull some some Fast and Furious maneuvers on those country roads. You come, oh man. Now that Amazon's got all these trucks roaming around, that probably doubles the traffic that are on those country roads. And those things are like on hills, and they go around bends and up and down, and they're like one lane wide. So imagine you're driving your vehicle on the road every day like you normally do, and you're coming up on this hill, and then all of a sudden this giant delivery truck is taking up 75% of the road and barreling down towards you. You know, I think my mom had her mirror smacked off by another car's mirror right on that spot too, because it gets so narrow. How do you do your world building? For my next story, let me put that up, Noah. That's a good... Jeremy, how do you do your world building? For my next story, I have to really dive into this whole new thing that I slightly induced decimation. And I want to build the world right. Well, what is my process? Role-playing, imagining, closing my eyes, and thinking about it. What really starts me off, just because I'm a visual guy, is designing a character. Because characters are generally... they carry the scars, or if you would, the wear and tear of the world in which they inhabit. So if it's a cyberpunk world, more than likely you're going to have like robotic stuff or augmentations. If it's a Gaia punk, like earthy stuff, like what I'm dealing with here, I've got these deposits and growths happening, really using, that aspect of nature. It really depends on if it's more universal superhero type stuff. Is it based in real world? Are you really building an entire new civilization in general? Like if a fictional planet entirely? Is that where you're going? Let me know, and I'll tell you what my steps were. Furthermore, my first thing is just imagine, try to get as concrete as an idea if you can, and it helps me to design a character, because then I'm like, well, then they would be wearing this. They would probably, would they be shy, and why would they be shy in their civilization, or would they be loud and boisterous, or just do they have a tragic life story? And new civilization with a cult type of thing. Okay, on planet Earth though, or on another planet, because that, to me, that really differentiates a lot of things, because a different planet can have different creatures, different physics at times. Maybe not entirely, like you're still dealing with your major forces, but from another host star, things get in space. Okay, so on a ship, new planet. Okay, gotcha. All right. So what inspired me a lot was these old, and I've been seeing some new stuff too. Discovery Channel put out this thing back in, I think, 1998 or 99. It was called Extraterrestrial. And what they did was they grouped a bunch of these scientists together with concept artists and 3D modelers. And they found these exoplanets, and this was really early, so, in the exoplanet discovery timeline. But they took these scientists, and off the data that they can get from the light readings of these exoplanets, they got together with these artists and worked together to make this, I think it was 30 minutes long, maybe an hour long, TV special, much like Walk with the Dinosaurs, where they basically just invented alien life and using the physics or using the theoretical like makeup of the planet to kind of drive what kind of creatures would they be. I think they're selling the point that, this could all really be a bit too hard. Because again, when you leave it to the artist and then be like, well, could this exist? Well, yeah, here's how it could exist. And all we have to do is just design a creature that uses these chemicals and stuff to kind of work in its environment. So that's why I kind of say is role play it out. What kind of, if it's a new planet, is it oxygen? So so you can have humanoids, that can, or you can have humanoids that don't breathe oxygen. You can have humanoids that are breathing oxygen in other ways. You can have slash gill people too, like they breathe it through gills, or an extra evolutionary development. That gets me started off, is just thinking about the environment itself, and if it's a brand new one, what kind of stellar stuff do you have working with it? And a lot of this, like Joe was telling me when, we were talking world building, was I go really deep into it because those small little details inspire me to make things feel a little bit more grounded than just, I arbitrarily think this idea is cool, so I'm just going to slodge it in here. And if that idea was real and had its effects, it would affect so much more of the story. And some red shirt guy is going to call me out on that. Well, sir, if this is a constant, if this thing over here, then so I enjoy taking a concept and then researching the hell out of it to then understand how it works a bit and take that as my creative limitation. Okay, so I have to make it do this. Now, do we know everything? No, that's where the creative license comes into. You can play with the concepts and the ideas. So, in space, a new planet, that's what I'm doing. It's been done. I'm not the first. So what are we still humans, like traveling to that new planet, or are we native to it and have no idea? I've shown 2 characters from this new place to the partner and the new big bad guy. The partner is in a black cloak and wears an artifact called the Eye of Hull. Hull's a planet that I've already established. We don't see the partner. Looks like under the cloak, though. We do see the people under his command who are in white. Ooh, okay. So, is it space operatic? Are you staying... is it more like a compact story in its environment? So we won't be going too far. We're kind of staying in a city or on a planet, or are we going to be like jumping worlds, jumping planets? What are we doing? What are you thinking? Jumping dimensions. Which I always think that's funny. Growing up, I always used that language. Jumping dimensions. I mean, what else would you call it, except... dimensions are a description of space, so an extra dimension would be a space in which our senses cannot perceive. Right? Or does that sound too pretentious? I think that's too pretentious. Hurry up, Noah. What do you say? Which is very medieval looking with a fireplace and has a ton of books, so he's very educational. So a derivative of this planet. So he has like knowledge of Earth. Preserved. I'm guessing. And if I'm nowhere near the mark, I'll stop guessing. But getting back to your question is, world building starts at knowing what world you're going to be building your story in so well that you can close your eyes and kind of start to move through the space. Making maps helps, like topographical top-down. Oh, what? Collision bomb serious? Dang. Read the previous message before my last. I thought I did. We don't see that the partner looks like what he looks like under the cloak, though. We do see people under his command who wear white cloaks. Then, as for the bad guy, he is a humanoid, as he is actually going to turn into a big beast monster thing. We have only seen the outside of the planet and then the inside of the big bad guy's study, which is very medieval looking with a fireplace and has a ton of books. So he's very educational. So books from where, I guess, was, and don't feel like you need to answer every one of my questions. These are questions to kind of get you going. Yeah, well, from Earth. Okay, well, if you've got that, or if it's from an alien history, that kind of gets you onto the next step of the world building. Like, all right, if I've got this legendarium of things that are supposed to be happening, always kind of look at the present state of things and try to work backwards as much as you can, as far back as you need to establish where your story is going to take place. Because everybody has motives generally based on the past. So you need to write your motivations as such. if they're not, if they're political or geopolitical or just survival, then the one I have to read the preview, the one okay. Just making sure I'm following. So basically, for world building, you have to come up with an answer. Yeah, because then you know where to go with it. Everything in between is up to you. You just have to know where to go with it. I know that kind of sounds counterintuitive, but have you ever done a maze backwards or or understood how reverse engineering of things work? You're looking at something, you're analyzing to understand the fundamentals of that thing, and then you work backwards from it. Well, if I need these things, well, then I have to have these. And if I don't have them yet, then I need to do this to get them. And as you're working your way down to your abilities at that point, you have a roadmap to follow. So I do that with world building. Not to this day. We're pretty much concrete on everything, but it took time to get it there. It took a lot of time to get it there. So, and things have been cut too. Things don't always stay the way they were in the original form. Such as, this image is a great example of that. I never knew I would be getting to a spot where I'd be putting this character into the composition. But holy hell, I'm glad I am. So, makes a lot of sense. This is going to be a lot of fun since the big bad guy, I still have to name him. Right, and it's hard to do that. Let's keep going. I still have the same... Oh, yeah. Has a whole army, and he's basically a tyrant who wants to build an empire. Don't they all? That's why he attacks Mavericks. Because Mavericks could prevent him from building his empire. Yes. Noah, your story has got, you see these scenes in your head. So, you're already doing a lot of the world building. I guess the question is, what kind of world building are you looking for? Stuff that's going to help your narrative kind of go in the direction, I guess, just be open-minded. That's the big thing, is you'll find it as you're exploring your own creation. But you have to generally block out everything else. Don't watch Netflix that night. Just sit by yourself and, with your thoughts, or draw it, literally draw these things imagine yourself being a mental Lewis and Clark and going on an adventure in your head and then drawing it, recording everything down and documenting it. That's what Beckoned is for me. It's, there's no more continents to explore, so might as well do it with my head. All right, so we've got a new replacement character for the composition. Did the line work experiment work exactly? We are not done. We'll get back to that and trying to get it looking exactly like it would have been. So, guys, thank you so much for showing up. Like I said, I've got some animations that I'm going to start working on soon, but we're still going to be working on this daily. Probably tomorrow. If not, because I really want to get it done. I started it here, unless everyone wants me to start moving animations. But yeah, tonight, I believe me and Joe are doing Art Bros. So if you guys do, check us on back. Come on back about 7 o'clock. All right. Love you all very much. Thank you. And we'll see you again. You guys are great.